Hey everyone, talking about the top 5 best fragrances by Perfumer Dominique Ropion. And often when I do these lists, it ends up being, a decent amount of niche stuff. And while this perfumer has done a ton of stuff for all different kinds of fragrance houses, some the ones I wanted to highlight on this are actually mostly designers because there's some very, very heavy hitters and some that are kind of considered some of the most popular masculine designers ever, of recent times at least. Jumping in, no particular order. One, Ralph's Club Parfum by Ralph Lauren. This is, to me, one of the best modern designer masculine blue fragrances out there, which are a dime a dozen. But this one, I keep kind of coming back to it every time I smell it, and it just smells like such a nice combination of like inoffensive and easy to wear, but sort of addictive in a way too, of like, ooh, that just smells really good. Very versatile, formal, casual, any weather, day or night type of thing, and just kind of a quintessential take on a masculine blue fragrance. Next, Invictus by Paco Rabanne. Obviously considered very basic by many, but given the level of popularity this has, I feel that it deserves a place on the list for the perfumer having come up with it. And I actually think it smells pretty good. It's not something I would wear myself, and there's also just kind of other stuff that I have, like Chanel or Sport, which is a little bit sort of what I'd wear for the same occasion. That I wouldn't go out of the way to get this, but I think it's worth trying a sample if you haven't and you like, you look it up and you like the notes listed or whatever, and just good to try in general because it's such a touchstone in modern masculine designer fragrances. And next, this is the one niche one on the list, Cologne Indelebile by Frederic Malle. This is beautiful, bright, airy, clean, and fresh. Lasts a lot longer, too, than the typical neroli, orange blossom type of fragrance. And one of the best neroli fragrances I've ever smelled. Really, really up there. It's not cheap, but it's just such a well-done, beautiful neroli cologne. Definitely deserves a place on the list and worth trying if you like neroli at all. I think it's better than neroli Portofino as far as like major ones go, for sure. Next, Mutiny by Maison Margiela. This is one of their few that's not in the replica line. And when I saw the notes, I was like, ugh, I don't know about that. Because it was like, I think oud, patchouli, tuberose, a bunch of stuff that just really did not sound like my thing. But I was like, okay, I gotta check it off the list, try every Margiela fragrance. And I think this smells really good. It kind of has that sort of Killian Love Don't Be Shy, candied orange blossom and marshmallow type of vibe, but with like bright pink pepper too. Really appealing. And it leans feminine, but I still feel like it could be fairly unisex if, worn by people in public or whatever. Next, La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent, and it's tied with another one that I'll do right after this. This is a classic masculine date night fragrance that starts with like major cardamom and then kind of has a refreshing twist but retains the classiness with like lavender and bergamot, then becomes more of a woodsy, darker dry down. It's not something that's gonna, smell necessarily unique or original at this point, but I just always see this reference as like the best kind of like easy reach for like a designer masculine cologne date night type of fragrance. Smells elegant and just really popular and started a lot of trends. And that I'm gonna have tied with Y Eau de Parfum by Yves Saint Laurent, because again, that just like really took over. That's a major kingpin, would that be the word, of like modern masculine blue fragrances. And the fact that the same person did Invictus, Y Eau de Parfum, like a bunch of the other stuff on this list, and also then something like Cologne Indelebile by Frederic Malle, like this absolutely beautiful, amazing niche neroli. It's like, wow, okay, this person is very talented. And if you have favorites that I did not mention by this perfumer, let me know.